Welcome back from the break. You're watching No Reservations in case you just turned on your television. I'm Aisha Alam Khan. And the person I have with me this evening, she's the first guest for tonight. She is known as the doyenne of fashion design in Pakistan. She's got a very distinctive personality as well as a very distinctive style. She's an incredible woman. She has influenced Pakistan's fashion industry like no one else has. She was actually one of the pioneers. And I tell you, she is one woman to look up to because she started where she started from and where she's taken the fashion industry. It is something that we can all salute and be very, very proud of. I am, of course, talking about Maheen Khan. Auntie Maheen, I've known you forever.
It's okay. Half the industry calls me Auntie, so it's all right. Even those who don't know me call me Auntie.
Maheen. What's been really phenomenal about you is, you started out at a time when there were no other, the concept of designers as such was not there. No. How did you sell the idea? Because every housewife was just used to going to a darzi.
Actually, Aisha, I think it was quite easy.
Okay.
When I think back, when you give people something new and something fresh, which is to me, the core of fashion.
Right.
It's something new, something different,
yes.
something fresh, something you've never seen before.
Yes.
And I think it was so new for Pakistan. But going back, I have to say that I started my career as a darzan.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I still, when people ask me, "Aap kya karti?" I say, "मैं कपड़े बनाती हूँ." Because for 15 years I was in Lahore. That's where I started.
Okay. Which is a very conservative society.
But I simply had a tailoring shop called the Seamstress. And I went to fashion school.
Right.
But those 15 years were really education.
But what made you go into that? I mean, was it a personal journey that you were in at that point that made you go there? And how did your family react to it?
Like all women, it was a need to earn.
Okay, all right.
It's always economic condition.
Yes.
Okay, you come down to that. And that's how it started. And I like to say that, I've been very, very fortunate that call it fluke, call it karma, call it fate, but I fell into something that I love. And maybe subconsciously I knew I'd love it. I don't know.
Right.
But I know that that's how I started, and I just built on that. And one fine day I said to myself, I want to open a shop.
And you've really been successful.
Yeah, and I remember all the money I had from my mother. I had 60,000 rupees, and that's it. I had to pay rent, buy the AC, make the stock, and decorate the shop. But in those days, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And I never looked back, but I worked really hard.
In those days, because when you come from a certain segment of society, a certain, decorum is sort of required of you.
Tell me about it.
And to become a darzan, as you yourself said, what was the reaction of your peers and people? Were they warm and welcoming to the idea?
Well, Allah bakshe, my mother-in-law used to kick me under the table and say, "Kyun keh rahi ho ki tum kaam karti ho?"
Really? Okay.
It was not the done thing for a woman to work in those days.
Yes. Yes.
It just wasn't. And women like me, there was Nurjan Bilgrami, there was Nahida Asfar, and later on there was Florence Rizvi.
Yes.
We had to fight our way up. It was not easy. Women complain today about, wearing a chadar or dupatta, but I recollect going to a Sorab Go to buy my fabric in a chadar, in a huge chadar which I wore.
Okay, fair enough. Success has not been easy, however, and I think whenever you have to struggle for something, it always toughens you up. How do you think you have changed through the years, the Maheen from those days to Maheen today?
Well, Aisha, from a very meek and mild little girl who would cry at the drop of a hat.
Really?
Yeah, I've now become...
You're a tough cookie.
A tiger, but you know what? The softness inside you never goes away. You still cry, you still get hurt, but you learn to tackle it.
Right. When was the last time you cried?
Not telling you, Aisha, I cried.
I'm going to try my luck here. All right. As we said, success you have gotten. One also creates a lot of enemies. And some people either love you and adore you, and some people can't stand you. They say, Maheen is really difficult to work with. She's a tough cookie.
But I am tough.
Do you think you've made enemies?
I am tough because I believe that, especially when girls come to work for me, and I tell them, you leave your house to work. You leave your tears at home.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough world out there, and it's better you get tough.
Yes.
No one's going to wipe your tears for you. No one's going to feed you.
Do you think you're tougher as a result because of the journey you've had, and you know that
I'm extremely thankful.
Okay.
I don't regret it for a minute, and I don't cry about it. I think I'm just very, very blessed that I had this journey, Aisha. It's made me who I am.
Yes.
Because believe me, you don't know what I was like. I was a mess. I was a little
Tell
pathetic
us a little
rag.
bit about tell us about a little bit about who the Maheen, who
I'm
that Maheen
very
was.
soft, very sensitive.
Can you give us an anecdote to sort of, you know, so we can kind of
Well,
just...
you know, I couldn't sign, till in my late 20s, I couldn't sign a check. I didn't have a
Really?
signature.
Wow.
So stupid.
And now you have Maheen, and that's the store. Was that what drove you to name your store Maheen? Because you went from seamstress to Maheen.
Actually, yeah, that's why. I mean, there was a big discussion.
Okay.
And I said, I don't want my name. They said, no, you're known for your tailoring.
Yes.
If you don't put your own name on the brand, you won't get there. This was the reason, really. Started off and we had great fun, actually. And then Rizwan Beg came on, and then later on Deepak Parwani came on. I like to think that I've not built up any enemies. Or you know, I've always tried to be fair, Aisha.
Okay.
And totally non-partisan wherever I go. And that's the way I like to conduct my business. Even today, as a chairperson of Fashion Pakistan, I like to feel that I always want to help emerging designers. To me, that is a duty on all of us senior designers, because that's
to
your
promote each other,
next generation.
Yes.
I mean, who's going to take over?
Yes.
You have to promote them.
Apparently something exciting happening next month. You want to talk about that?
Oh, we have Karachi Fashion Week, which is fabulous.
Excellent.
And it's been organized by Triple E Marketing, Mr. Arshad Siddiqui.
Okay.
And he already had a Fashion Week last year, which was which we sort of stepped in at the last minute. It was not very formalized.
Right.
But this year, we've taken it over.
Okay.
And you know, wonderful thing, Aisha, is that, you know, there's this great divide, which I'm sure you're going to ask me.
The Karachi Council
But
and
Karachi,
the Lahore
Lahore.
Council, yes.
Now, the history of why the two councils we're not going to get into, because that's, to me, that's history.
Right.
It's gone.
Yes.
But be that as it may, it does, I will say that we had no choice but to form a council. We were actually kicked out of the other council.
Really?
All of us. So that
For what
is.
reason? Why?
Let's not even go there.
Okay, you don't
It's-
want to go there.
I think it's
All
a
right.
waste of time. You know, it's like, and I'm a bridge player. I think I hate these postmortems. But what's lovely is that on a one-to-one basis, there is no problem between any designers in Pakistan.
So then why do we keep reading about, you know, so-and-so hates so-and-so?
Because it's the press and the media who've built this out of proportion.
Okay.
You know, look at just India and Pakistan. Now, the governments are supposed to be boring and, you know,
Sure.
But when you meet each other on a one-to-one,
It's
you're like one big happy
It's
family.
wonderful,
Exactly.
yes.
So it's the same goes for us.
Okay.
It's just this, the press has built this up.
So your opinion on the press is?
All the people involved in the fashion press are friends of mine, and I have a lot of regard for them. But I would like to tell them that, you know, they must build this industry and not destroy it. Because, you know, when you do that, and when you become little tabloids which are just talking, I mean, gossip really, that's not building. You can't build an industry, you can't build a nation, you can't do anything then. Because as Pakistanis, what has happened to us? You know, recently with all this trouble in Swat and things, there was this huge outbreak of people, all of us suddenly woke up and said, you know, we want Jinnah's Pakistan back. And you probably heard the slogan too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's lovely because you want Jinnah's Pakistan back. And I'm telling my fashion industry, talk about Pakistan. Don't talk about Lahore and Karachi and Islamabad. And
Yes.
it doesn't matter. You are a Pakistani at the end of it.
Absolutely.
So if you start thinking that way, it'll be much better. And put aside your little complexes and your petty differences and your, you leave it aside.
Yeah. You now are sitting in a very, very pretty place, and you can.
You're the
brand name of the fashion
don't
industry
know
now.
about that.
You're the Duchess of the fashion industry.
But I still get jutas.
Well, what are the low points? Like, what was the lowest point of your career that you had a very difficult time with?
I'm a fighter, Aisha.
Okay.
And I think if you think of your life as lows and highs, I think that is very negative.
Okay.
You just take what comes to you.
And you make what you can with it.
Yes. Don't ponder over your bad times or good
So you're
times.
not the kind of person who gets depressed easily then?
I'm an optimist.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, and also, you know, it depends what your needs are.
Yes.
And what your aim in life is. I mean, do you want money? Then there's trouble. But do you want peace in your life?
What does Maheen want?
I want peace.
Okay. And do you have it?
Alhamdulillah, I think I do.
We've got the wonderful Maheen Khan with us. We're going to know her. We're going to know Maheen behind the grand fashion statements that we see in all the wonderful magazines and newspapers. We have another guest coming up next. Who is he? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to find out right here on No Reservations with myself, Aisha Alam Khan. Don't go anywhere.